Nation's #1 DJ, DJ Rockwell.
Yo, this is Apocalypse, the lyrical warner, hip-hop revelator. And you rockin' with the nation's #1 DJ, DJ Rockwell, you understand me?
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family. Come on now. I am so thankful, so grateful, so humbled to be back on the air live with you. This is your brother, DJ Rockwell, the nation's #1 DJ. And with me in the building, Dave, you know I was going to do it. You know I was going to do it. Our producer that I can't do the show without, who's been holding me down for 2 years, my producer, Dave C., is in the building. So, my brother, welcome back to Dave.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you for having me. Thank you for wrangling me in. Thank you for being a big brother. Thank you for everything, B. I appreciate it. Love you. And let's do what we came to do.
Love you, brother. Let's go to work. Now, as we do every time around this time, we need everybody. First of all, let's make some noise in the chat. Let me know where y'all watching from. What city? What state? What country? What mosque y'all represent? Where y'all from? Put that in the chat right about now. I want to know who's watching and what city y'all watching from. And Big Dave, Sister Pamela, Assalamu salam, ma'am. Where y'all watching from? Who's in the building? And we need everybody to observe the 3 standing rules of the Rockwell Radio Show. It hasn't changed a bit. It hasn't changed a bit. We need everybody to do step 1, which is go ahead and tag somebody and hit that share button. Remember what we do, Dave? Step 2? Dave? It's step 3, Dave. And we need everybody to go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the Rockwell Radio Show, make tonight be the night you join this family. We got tonight lined up with us a brother. He really needs no introduction. He really doesn't. But I want to get a few things off my mind and into your heart before we start. I want to thank everybody for your love, your support, your prayers. We thank you, my family and I, because we could not be here without you. I want to remind everybody about what tonight's show is about. Tonight's show is about warfare, digital war. Houston in the building, my brother, Big D. I see Texas in the house big tonight. This show is about warfare, y'all. Digital warfare, to be exact. I want to give everybody out there watching a sneak from the mother plane. That's right. I want to give everybody a sneak peek into the FOI class. I want to share with you all an excerpt from a very serious book written by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in 1983. That book is called The Meaning of FOI. And I want to use it to set the tone and set the stage for tonight's conversation and tonight's guest before we bring them on. Big Dave, let's show them that quick excerpt from The Meaning of FOI. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan writes, military training implies tactics. Military training implies maneuvers. Military training implies going behind the lines in enemy territory. Military training implies establishing a beachhead in enemy territory and then proceeding to take control. And last but not least, military training implies war. Make no mistake that you and I are involved in a war. Louisiana in the building. There is an information war going on as we speak. An information war struggling for control of the minds of our people. And I'm so blessed, so thankful and humbled that we here at the Rockwell Radio Show are participants on the side of right, on the side of truth. Let's keep going. I want to be able to talk really quickly about this beautiful brother who often speaks of giving testimony and not running, in fact, running to the witness stand to be what we call, or give what we call a testimony. But I thought it was necessary to define what the word meant. Show them what the word means, Dave. When we talk about the word testimony, we're talking about a solemn declaration, usually made orally by a witness under oath in response to interrogation. Although I intend to ask our brother some questions tonight, it's not an interrogation. By a lawyer or authorized public official. It is first-hand authentication of a fact, evidence. Lastly, it's an outward sign. Our brother is the personification of all of those things. As I mentioned before we came on the air, when we started the show last year at this time, it was our brother who was front and center with just a call to saying, come on and let's get to our people with this great word and work. And I also want to use this conversation with our great brother to look backwards at 2022 and point out a few significant highlights. So Dave, with no further ado, let me give you a quick few facts about our guest tonight. He is the man behind the Teachings 2.0 volumes 1 and 2, the one who compiled over 5,000 questions and answers that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan answered so gracefully, humbly, and with wisdom from God. He is the founder of AQM video platform, the new platform that, yes, is going to replace YouTube in the coming future with truth, actual facts, freedom, justice, and equality. He is often called by many the commander-in-chief, leader of the Twitter army. But my brother, I call him 5,000 watts for that beautiful smile and spirit. Please welcome back to the radio show the first guest of 2023, our brother Abdul Qiyam Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, big brother. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
All praise due to Allah. I'm honored to be with you again, my brother, as always.
I tell you what, I shared in public that I was nervous. I was, I had the quote unquote stage jitters, but just talking with you backstage a few moments ago, brother, alleviated all of that so we can laugh and talk about our beautiful teacher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. You did the same for me, because anytime we're called to come before God's people and get on that witness stand, we all should have a tinge of nervousness. And we pray, as we say in the church, that we'll let him use us.
There we go.
Get ourselves out the way.
There we go. So again, before we dive in, we want to have everyone, once again, go ahead and observe the 3 rules: the like and share button, tag somebody, and again, subscribe. But not only subscribe, go ahead and hit that notification bell so every time we're live, you're notified first. Now, brother, before we get into the actual line of questioning, I wanted to just take a page again from our previous conversation just a few moments ago in the green room about what has happened since your first interview last year. Can you please share with the listening and watching audience just some of what you talked about, what's happened since then?
Yes, sir. You all got me in a lot of trouble.
Uh-oh.
Good trouble. our beautiful discussion about living in the world of ideas. And as I shared in our last interview, it was inspired by something the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said to me in a phone call in 2013 when I wanted to go for the Guinness World Record for the largest tweet up in the world. And the minister called me from his undisclosed location and he said, brother, where do you come up with these ideas? And I said, is that a good thing, brother minister? He said, yes. He said, oh, how I wish the believers would live in the world of ideas like that. And it's something about when you open up your mind and heart to your teacher and you're really, really listening to him, when he says certain things to you, it gets burned into your consciousness. So that's what happened with me. When he said that, it stuck with me. And then he told me, brother, I want you to go and free your fellow believers. He said, not from the grips of the white man. I'm not talking about the oppressive grips of the white man. I said, ooh. Come on. About the internal forces that keep us out of the world of ideas. So he put me on the assignment. Go free your fellow believers. Now, I never thought that I was actually doing that. I just started working and doing what he told me to do. However, in that conversation we had last year, talking about the world of ideas, and then Brother Dave got inspired to create a mix song, you know? I was so shocked and uncomfortable and just blown away by our brother's skills and how he chopped up the clips that it went so viral that I got calls, DMs, you know, Facebook messaging, text messaging. People were blowing me up about the world of ideas. And so since that time, even as of this morning, as we were talking in the green room, I've been constantly getting phone calls from the believers of all ages who want to strive to live in the world of ideas.
Come on.
All praise due to Allah.
Come on.
Calls, you know, all kinds of things that they've been wanting advice on. Of course, you know me. You know, when they call me, my first route is the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Right.
I didn't know anything about an idea. As the minister said, you know, in belief in Allah, that an idea is a well-developed thought. I didn't even know what thinking was until I heard the teachings of the
Listen, come on.
Call me for consultation. I'm not sending them to so-and-so guru on social media. I'm sending them to Elijah first. Right. Because he's the root of an idea of a brand new world that's coming in. So coaching calls with me is not the same as these others on social media, right? Ooh. But they were come on now, because the believers, they want to be free for whatever that's holding them back. They want to break the grips that's on them and live in the world of ideas. So many believers, we talk so much. Some of us have a running joke, you know, DJ, that we'll call and say, brother, how's it going? Or sister, how's it going in your second home? And for those that don't know, the second home is you got that home that you stay in, but your second home is the world of ideas.
Listen.
And I want everybody to live in that. So that got me in some good trouble. Believers have not stopped calling me. I've had friends, classmates from Prairie View call me because they want to know, how is it that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan took these from the streets? Those of us who were purposeless, didn't know our origin in the world. We didn't have self-esteem, didn't have love for self, didn't know who we were. But this man cleaning us up and got us living in the world of ideas, they want to know. So everyone knows. People want to know
who we are and where we come from.
And where we come from. So let's live in the world of ideas. So that's what has happened within this last year because of the Rockwell radio show.
Give that brother a hand, ladies and gentlemen. If you are happy to be here, if you are matter of fact, if you watched that episode, I need everybody to put a 1 in the chat room. If you saw that, and if you didn't see that episode, there is a link to that episode in the description of this video. So if you missed that landmark conversation between my brother and I, after tonight, go back and get caught up. And as Professor Griff from the group Public Enemy once said, get a late pass. So having said that, that lays the foundation of where we're about to drive to right now. Again, you're watching the Rockwell Radio Show. This is DJ Rockwell, and my guest is our brother Abdul Qiyam Muhammad. Now, having said that, it's been obviously a year since our last conversation. Let's catch up a little bit by talking about, firstly, AQM video or Q video.
Yes,
Tell us what has happened with the platform since we talked last. What kind of a content has been added, and more importantly, how have the people been responding to Q video?
Well, first I have to thank my wonderful team. It has been a wonderful continued journey, and God willing, this May will actually make 2 years of our launching. All praise due to Allah. We have not had one video censored, taken down, or banned or shadow banned.
Come on.
Free flowing truth trafficking of the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad at all. That's number one. Number two, the content has continued to expand to serve the demand of our users. We've had an increase in subscribers, an increase in views, an increase in social media shares, an increase in donations. Oh yes, and all praise due to Allah. And we've had an increase in those that have been sending us content to post.
Come on now.
It busts up the idea that we cannot have our own. And I'm telling you, dear brother, our beloved, may Allah forever be pleased with her. Many of the believers have been going to the site over this year and saying, this is what Sister Ava has been talking about. We've been needing to upgrade on all fronts. So AQM Video just been given a digital peek on what it's gonna look like when we withdraw digitally and run our own infrastructures online without them. So I'm so excited that we're still going, still expanding. I'm gonna tell you, we ran into a good problem. We ran out of online storage space, right?
Come on now.
We couldn't upload more content. We had to hold on getting subscribers. So now we're making a transition. I ain't gonna say it all online because we're talking about warfare.
Come on.
And there's people that's listening to this interview, so we ain't gonna tell all our chess moves.
Right.
We have to build something online so we can expand our experience for our users, expand the storage, and expand our back office and our intranet. See, we need our own private back offices so we can deal properly with digital warfare because the enemy knows too much of our stuff online. Now, I ain't saying we shouldn't use these platforms. Y'all know I love using them, but we have to build our own protected intranet where we can all communicate without them knowing. So that's what we want to know as well. So AQM Video, again, inspired by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because he told me on July the 22nd, 2019, when I was blessed to be in his office in the palace in Chicago, he told myself and others, now look how advanced the God is through the minister.
Come on.
He said, brother, we must strengthen our own platforms. Now, this is before the Nation of Islam started being banned. We had our stuff taken off Shopify. Then they took the minister, had the minister off Instagram and Facebook by then.
And we're going to deal with that.
All of the social media helpers of the minister off social media, right? And then we all see what happened at the Swan Song. Even before the broadcast started, they took down the YouTube channel, man. And it got to the point, Brother Vaughn, that the only way people could keep up with what the minister was saying was the live tweets of the Twitter army because they had cut off every single feed. So the God had fed the minister instruction to me and others before all this happened.
Oh, wow.
Our own, man. So I thank the minister and I thank Allah for the heart of those of us, man. See, a soldier, we don't just say, I hear and I obey.
Talk to him.
Some of us hear and ignore.
Listen.
Some of us hear and go do what we want to do. But I'm striving by the graceful law, humbly, not perfect at all. But like he told us at the National Training Conference last summer, he said, we got to let the master have us. I know we think we know the way, man, but I don't want to be like one of those, man. I want the master to have me, so if the minister hints at something, it's a direct order to me.
Listen.
So we got to strengthen our own platforms. Yes, sir. We got to move on it. So thank you, YouTube, for banning me. I appreciate it. Matter of fact, YouTube still sending me emails, DJ, to tell me that my content actually didn't violate their policy. But you know what? We don't care. Keep on banning us, man.
Have it, it's yours.
God wants us to separate on all fronts. And when you're a soldier and a warrior, you don't cry about what your enemy does. All you do is pivot and understand that the enemy has a nature, but God has a nature too, and he's battling, man. So AQM video is still going, and we striving like the minister told Final Call Radio, keep it going and keep it growing. So we thank you, listeners and users and supporters. We couldn't do it without you. And the team, thank you so much. But by the grace of Allah, come May 2023, we got some big announcements coming.
Come on, and you're welcome to do it here at the Rockwell Radio Show anytime, my brother.
Come on, now.
Sister Heck of a Mecca wants to know, before we move to the next question, how can they contact or get involved with Q Video?
So it's Q, so it's video, VIDIO. You know, we got to be different. We took away the E. You know, we learned that in school. One of the few things I learned that now, as far as, the I and the E can be interchangeable.
Come on.
So it's QVIDIO.com. That's QVideo.com.
Big Dave, if possible, see if you can put that on a banner.
And if you have some wholesome content that you would like to post, and you don't have to worry about it being taken down, like our brother Ilya Rashad of the research team, powerful student and witness bearer of the bills, right? That brother, as soon as he uploads a video, within 15 seconds, YouTube takes him down.
Wow.
So we said, don't worry about it, brother. You come on over to Q Video. We got the home over you here, and you don't have to worry about it being taken down. And last, I'm going to say this, Brother Vaughn, look, it's such a blessing when you're independent that even when we share links on Facebook and all the social media platforms of Q Video, they're not even banning our links. That's because we're flying under a radar of independence, and we're waging algorithmic war with them.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to tell you that in progress as we speak is the digital war, and leading the charge is our brother, Commander-in-Chief Abdul Qiyam Muhammad. Dave, we're going fast. Let's see if we can catch up here. Now, big brother, I want to ask you this question. On your first visit last year to the show, you shared with us, Brother Qiyam, that there's a cost for telling the truth. You just talked about how your YouTube channel was banned, of course. What are some tactics and maneuvers? And we're going to hear that term and that language repeated throughout the rest of the show. Tactics and maneuvers that people can practice to stay visible on their platforms, but not compromise the telling of the truth.
Yes. So again, in that same timeline, the minister July 2019, he had did a powerful message on July the 21st, 2019, where he called out Epstein, Weinstein, the synagogue of Satan, and all these demons, right? So I wanted to show how big and bad I was. So I used my little YouTube channel at that time. I might have had 500 subscribers, maybe. I went on there and made a nice little thumbnail. I put that clip of the minister, and I wanted them to flag me. I felt good. And they gave me a strike. And they said if I get 2 more strikes, they was going to take me down. So I couldn't wait to tell my teacher, just to get a call. And I said, Brother Minister, YouTube just gave me a strike because I put up the clip of you going in on Epstein and Weinstein and the synagogue of Satan and the filth and debauchery that they are practicing from the Talmud. I'm giving it, right? The minister said, oh, dear brother, why don't you try to learn how to use some tactics sometimes? Man, he just stumped me. He said, why don't you use strategy? He said, I want y'all to listen carefully. He said, you and I and we have already shown too that we can be strong with the truth. So why don't you study and use strategy and see if you can build up the channel? That's a direct order. I said,
direct order.
And he said, being strategic does not take away from the strength of the truth.
Ooh, say that again.
Being strategic does not take away the strength of the truth.
Woo.
So, what did I do? A soldier. Yes, sir. I started studying the top YouTubers. I started studying the algorithms of YouTube. I started studying what are the buzzwords that they're looking for in titles and in captions. Because we know, let's be real, the Anti-Defamation League, the Southern Poverty Law Center, all of them, they set up shop in Silicon Valley during the Time of What Must Be Done series. We have to remember that.
Listen.
And they started attacking the minister because they did not expect that man being up in age to them would be effective in using YouTube like he did, right? He went in some shop and started rewriting policies to affect YouTube, Google, Facebook, Twitter. See, these people are not playing. They've been waging war against us online for telling the truth. So here's the minister saying, you got to use tactic and strategy. So I went and studied the enemy. And I started seeing, okay, it's these certain words that they keep looking for. They want to take it down.
Right.
So I didn't say I was being weak. I was being strategic. So certain words that I would use, but the people would still watch the minister and still get the truth. So the people in the comments start saying, Jew this or this, that, and the other. So I said, oh, it worked. So when I reported to the minister after 6 months that I did it, the only thing he said was, he said, brother, it feels good to know when those that move out on my instruction. All right, bro. So,
ladies and gentlemen, wow.
I grew it over 70,000 subscribers, almost 15 million views because of the minister's instruction.
Come on.
Now, it got to a point, you know, that was our first online and virtual Saviors Day 2021. And my YouTube channel was needed because they was waging war on us after the Criterion, man. So I shared with headquarters. I said, use my channel, stream all of the workshop that you need to. Because at that point, I didn't care. You know why? We had already done the job, Brother Vaughn. We had already shown that we can beat their algorithms.
Listen.
Study the enemy and use their language against them. See, brothers and sisters, if you still living on the low level of your thought process regarding social media as believers, you got to up your thinking, man.
Ooh.
God did not guide the minister into social media for nothing. This is high science, okay?
We're going to get into that. We right there.
Last point, Savior Day 2021, we streamed everything through my channel. So we spread the COVID-19 plenary, and that was the last straw. They was like, wait a minute. And
the horse already out the gate.
But now, they're coming back emailing. I got the documentation. They're coming back emailing saying that we didn't violate their terms of service. So you got to ask the question, who influenced these CEOs to take down the minister?
Listen.
Who influenced these CEOs to fight against the truth? Okay, we know who you are, and the minister is uncovering you. So it was all because of the minister. So I'm giving that to say to those who want to be strategic at times. Because some of us, don't get me wrong, you ain't being weak. Go at them.
Come on.
When you get banned and pulled down so many times, what does that do to the people that's trying to follow you? They're trying to find you. They want to feed from you. And not saying that you're weak or anything. If you use strategy to stay up for a moment, hit her with a punch. Man, did y'all see that recent fight with Tank?
Listen.
Do you see the tactic that Tank used? He didn't always throw power punches, man. He was hitting in certain ways. He used that ring. Look at Floyd Mayweather.
Come on.
Floyd Mayweather, a boring fighter. I beg to differ. He ain't boring.
At all.
Nice. So if we use the same thing, if you hit him with a hard punch, man, you ain't got to do a haymaker in every Instagram post you do. Back up a little bit. Be strategic with it, like a fighter, and that's what soldiers do. Look what he says. You just read it from our book. Come on, FOI. Tactics, strategy to get behind enemy lines. Man, I apologize. Look, dear brother, I got to tell you. I have not done a lot of interviews this year. I should have gave a heads up. And by the grace of Allah, I say this so humbly. There's so much been going on since the Swan Song regarding our father, man. And even all the way since his delivery on behalf of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad on November 10th, that sent a blow to the enemy. Brother, your brother, Brother Bond, did 4 PDFs of social media report to the minister regarding November 10th, and each PDF was 53 pages.
Wow.
To represent the 53 minutes that he divinely spoke. So 53 pages of 4 PDF. I've been drinking in a lot, not just his word, but the feedback of the people and what's been going on and happening. So I'm not just sitting idly, man. So I'm so full and excited. I haven't been doing a lot of interviews because the Father been having me working in these digital trenches. I want you all to know, man, they are so afraid of shows like this because they see turn happening online. And the way that God threw that punch through the minister on November the 10th, and the way the masses are waking up, they was even for mocking the unbelievable Muhammad on social media. People was apologizing to the nations of Islam for mocking us for standing on the truth. So
I saw with my own 2 eyes.
Your turn is happening. So I just want to say to you and your audience, y'all got to excuse me, but man, I'm so full.
Come on now, we need every bit of that fire. We need all of that. Matter of fact, I need everybody that's watching to put a fire emoji in the chat right now. Put a fire emoji in the chat for our brother. Let's keep it moving. Because, man, we had the half right now.
Oh, man.
And I still got some ways to go.
Yes, sir. I'm going to do better. Go for it.
I want to stay on topic for a minute with that price that we were having to pay for telling the truth. Don't think that, and I'm talking to you, ladies and gentlemen, don't think that you can tell the truth without there having to be a price. I want to direct your attention to a letter that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan wrote to then President George Bush in 2001. He wrote, "I write you from my prison, a prison without bars that has been made for me because of the passion for truth and justice out of which I speak, and the propaganda that makes me appear to many as anti-white, anti-Christian, anti-Semitic, and anti-gay. None of these names accurately describe who I am. I hope that you will open your hearts to what I am writing, notwithstanding the prison from which I am writing." The Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan wrote that to then President George Bush to express his concerns about the direction of the country. Why do I cite that? Because now, 18 years later, he's kicked off of social media, so they have every intention to continue the isolation process or imprisonment, as he wrote of him today. So my question, dear brother, is how do we who are with him liberate and free our teacher from this virtual prison?
You know, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad stated, according to the minister, that no oppressed people can win their freedom on the defense. They must go on the offense and take the fight to the enemy. And then in a meeting with his ministers in 1964, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, when your leader is attacked, you is attacked. And he said, but if you wait for me to come out and defend myself, you're no help to me, right?
Listen.
So now it becomes, as a soldier in this battle, do you wake up every day with the thought, how can I help free the minister? How can I defend the innocence of this man against these false charges? Now we know in the Holy Quran, there's a section titled Jesus cleared of false charges.
False charges.
And for those who are Quranic scriptures, you cannot dispute that the minister, there's nobody on the planet who is more false than the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Come on.
So Jesus had to ask a question when he perceived disbelief on the part of the disciples. He said, who are my helpers in the cause of Allah.
Right.
Why did he have to ask the question if those that were with him were really his helpers?
Ooh.
This belief started creeping in. Evidently, Satan started pulling on the followers. And the minister has talked about the crucifixion process, and that is they started stripping Jesus of his followers.
Listen.
Or do we wake up in the state of mind as a soldier that you represent the resurrection work in helping this man and could continue to free him from this prison without walls like Paul in scripture?
Wow.
So the start is, are you in a soldier state of mind?
Ooh.
And we can see what kind of mind you are based upon looking at your feed. Your social media feed lets us know what you're feeding on. Because if you're feeding on the right thing, you will feed the masses and yourself the right thing on your social media pages. However, if we are soldiers and warriors who are pulled by the current of every current event, and we can't stay on topic with Jesus, what kind of soldier are we? Wait a minute now. Please don't get offended. But I'm baffled, brothers and sisters. I'm talking just personally me, from phone calls with the minister, who is so intrigued by the feedback of the people every time he speaks. How can you say you are helping of him and you don't even share the recent messages that he delivered?
Whew.
You mean to tell me that your personal commentary is more divine than divinely guided man? I beg your pardon. Who are you leading the people to, soldier? Who are you really defending, soldier? I'm not talking about every now and then where you use the minister for convenience to drive home your personal point. I'm talking about dealing scripturally.
Listen.
Soldiers in the Nation of Islam don't just defend any kind of way. We use the scriptures of Bible and Quran as interpreted by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's how
Come on, man.
So, with that being said, persecution. Jesus already told us to expect that if you following him. Oh, they gonna say all manner of evil for you.
Oh.
But in all of that, I saw our brother student minister Jamil on that.
My brother.
But be exceedingly glad. That's a B attitude.
Listen.
If you are persecuted for his name's sake, you should wake up excited and happy. That's why when the minister asked me when they took me off YouTube, he said, "How you feeling, son?" I said, "I feel like $1 million, brother minister."
Ooh, come on.
And he said, "I like that attitude. All praise is due to Allah." So we don't have no opposition from the enemy in our lives right now. We need to check our belief meter. We need to check our work meter, because we should be hated and despised, especially online. So, man, I love it. But Jesus said, lastly, no, if they hated you, know that they hated me first. So it's the Jesus first that it's all about.
Lord.
You can't make it all about yourself. Oh, they hating on me. Wait a minute now. They don't hate you more than him. We talking about 68 years of delivering the truth without bowing down.
Listen.
Good.
Listen. I be hating to cut him off, Dave.
I know. I apologize.
I be hating to cut him off, Dave.
I apologize, my brother.
You know what? Because now we almost, oh my God. I tell you what, we're going to go to break. The next question I had before break, you've already answered it brilliantly just now. We're going to go to break, and then we're going to move towards the finale. Oh my God, you're tuned to the Rockwell Radio Show. My name is DJ Rockwell. My guest right now is Brother Abdul Qiyam Muhammad. We will be right back. Don't go away.
This is your brother Willie Muhammad, and I'm asking each and every one of you all to tune into the DJ Rockwell Show, live online. Peace.
Peace. This is your sister Aisha, the mental resurrectionist, hailing out of Baltimore, Maryland. Listen, whenever I'm online, I always tune into the Rockwell Radio Show. It's that hype. It's that dopeness, and you should tune in too. Peace to my brothers David and DJ Rockwell for holding it down, locking it down, giving us those sounds. Love y'all. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Sister Latasha Muhammad, and when I'm online, I rock with the Rockwell Radio Show.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. You're tuned in to the NOI Hip Hop Network.
You already know what it is. Let's go!
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. This is your host, DJ Rockwell, the nation's #1 DJ. Forgot my name for a minute. And with us, our brother who is on fire, the truth trafficker, the commander in tweet, our brother Abdul Qiyam Muhammad is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Brother, I don't know what to say. You have answered so many of the questions I have in front of me already. But I do want to tuck this one in. But before I do, I want to, as you saw during the break, we want to encourage everybody. We want to encourage everybody to go to YouTube and subscribe to the Nation Station. NOI Chronicles is on YouTube. Go support them because they are a supporter of us. It is a place where you can hear all of the latest NOI hip hop artists, people in the nation that are singers, rappers, musicians, poets, are all there under one roof. Brother, we're trying to follow your lead, Brother Abdul Qiyam, and unite and put together a platform that our teachers can be proud of. So go support them. That's Nation Station. And before we go any further, we want to make a quick announcement right now, Big Dave. We want to let the people know who's going to be our guest next week. Don't miss it, as we're going to be right here on the Rockwell Radio Show with our brother and yours, with student Minister Nuri Muhammad, right here on the Rockwell Radio Show. That's coming up next week.
Ooh, I'll be watching that.
Let's get back to work. Let's get back to work. Because the time is on us, we're going to move forward. Now, like we did last year, Brother Abdul Qiyam, we put out Big Dave with some hip hop treats. We want to give the world again another treat courtesy of Big Dave in your honor, since you're here with us tonight. So we want to present to the world Big Dave C once again with a hip hop classic called Keep Quiet. Watch this.
In Nigeria, which is, if not the most corrupt nation in Africa, and it is, it could be the most corrupt nation in the world.
Now, Mr. Wallace.
Hold up. Now, keep that same energy. Let's look and see if America has been a friend to me and my folks since we was dragged to this turf.
As much hell as America has raised on the earth.
Drones dropping bombs from 100 miles up. Righteous?
America should keep her mouth shut.
When we bring up your dirt, you try to act like you don't know me, so for real, bruh.
So let's not play holy.
Land of the free and the brave, now that's a riot.
I'm not moralizing, I'm asking you.
I think you should keep quiet.
Point at everybody else's fault, you always miss one. All countries need to be fixed.
Including this one. There's abuse in every nation on earth.
Ask the natives that Columbus found. That day we shutting down. Call out Nigeria so others can stare at them.
Have they killed off millions of Native Americans?
Nope. You only work for the rich and prey on the weak.
You're not in any moral position.
Shush.
I will speak. Wherever there's a corrupt regime.
This country's right by it. I agree with Brother Farrakhan.
You should be quiet.
Peace, and thank you for watching. Agree with me that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan deserves our support. He's the longest lasting, hardest fighting, non-stop warrior on the battlefield for the upliftment of all of humanity, leading with the black man and woman of America. Support this man, make a donation, share this, and click the link. And we thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. Peace.
Man.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Big Dave C of the Rockwell Radio Show. So,
Man.
brother, again, we when you come on, we got to put it up for our brother.
Come on now.
First
Dude.
reaction, brother. We want your reaction.
Come on now. Let me tell you. You know, I saw he tagged me on Twitter.
Okay.
I watched it several times already. Man, brother Dave is fire, brother. You awesome.
Come on now.
Love it, brother. Keep it going. See, brother Dave living in the world about this. He in his second home.
In his second home.
It's wonderful, brother, man.
Come on now.
We got to get that Nation of Islam talent agency going soon, man. Somebody got to manage all this talent that's been raised in the nation, man. We got to bring it together. So I thank Allah for you, brother. I'm so inspired, man.
Come on, let's give it up one more time for Big Dave C. Big Dave C, great job, King.
Yes, sir. And I want to say, my brother, look.
Yes, sir.
It's on me, you all, that the time done went so fast. But I will say, beloved, I'm your guest. So if you want to go a little longer with the permission of the artist, I'm here. It's up to you. So I just wanted to just say that, beloved. I didn't have a set time to leave. So I know I've been a little lengthy and a little fired up, so that's on me. So I just want to put that out.
Oh, brother, we don't want to hold you, but we sure thank you for the opportunity, and we might do just a little bit because I got so much great material to get through.
Yes, sir.
So much great material. Matter of fact, let's get to this question that I'm really eager to hear your answer for. Like I said in the introduction, this conversation is also going to be looking backward and forward at the same time. I want to look at last year, at a highlight. I'll use this as an opportunity, if you will, to celebrate. I want to celebrate the life of our sister, our scholar, our soldier, a warrior, Sister Minister Ava Muhammad. Dave, can you put the picture up? There we go. We want to celebrate Student Minister Ava Muhammad in this moment on the Rockwell Radio Show. As we all know, she returned to Allah on August the 25th last year. As it relates to Brother Abdul Qiyam, as it relates to defending our teacher, What can you say you've learned from our sister? And do you have any Sister Minister Ava stories?
Absolutely. Our sister gave a beautiful blueprint, not just in how to defend the minister, but how to love him. When I was blessed to first start and serving in this capacity in 2011, 2010 or so, and getting these calls, and doing the Teachers 2.0, Sister Ava is the one I had been studying for years because I knew her story with the study guides.
Right.
So I called and asked the sister, what kind of shorthand, how do you write the notes so fast? And
right.
How do you take in so much from him? And I had a memory, but I used to ask her these things. And her answer was always rooted in she absolutely loved the teacher. So her love of the minister drove everything, including her fierce defense. So, sister, how to strive and love and be like the minister, man. Oh, she taught me that. And the care that when she would be on the phone, she was so motherly with me. Even it corrected me on some things. And even at times, many don't know, we're talking about social media warfare.
Right.
First, I'm going to say this publicly. When you're striving to go down a path and the nation didn't understand social media and technology, I was catching so much flack, but I have to say, Sister Ava, even when she didn't understand it, she would defend me, brother. Because see, it didn't matter, Sister Ava. If it made the minister happy, she wanted to push it forward, man. And so, her love of the minister is one to be studied, and one to be followed, and one to be cherished. And when the minister lastly talked about it, the janaza, he talked about the envy for the man of God and his chosen position. And he said, that wasn't in Sister Ava. Well, if he said it wasn't in her, I don't want it to be in me.
Listen.
That's the blueprint now. When it came to defending, yes. And that's why I encourage us as students to continue to study that janaza message, brothers and sisters. Continue to share it. Continue to dig into it, because there's so much I continue to learn, not just about Sister Ava, but more of Sister Ava.
Listen.
He said, take my yoke upon you and learn, not about me. He said, learn of me. So I'm striving to learn more of Sister Ava, a star of God. And that's why we do as much as we can to continue to share all the reflections and memories and those that have honored her on Q Video, because we want to continue to remember our sister and feed from her. But man, her love for the minister, so deep. So I thank Allah that he taught, and then to the point that many who have grown up with me, when they're like, man, we ain't never seen you act like that by no other man. You're right. Somebody taught and told me that.
Right.
Because I know who I'm looking at. I know who I'm receiving a phone call from. I never take it for granted. But Sister Ava taught me that when the minister calls, it's always like the first time. Teachers 2.0, Sister Ava helped train me in it. So when the Father calls me, ain't no distractions, because Sister Ava was the same way. So how do I recite back so much notes precisely? I learned it from Sister Ava.
Come on.
It's the love, man. And that's why the message keeps saying we don't love deep enough. And may Allah bless us to continue to deepen our love like Sister Ava deepened her love for the minister.
Wow, beautiful. Let me give this round of applause
To Allah.
for that warrior,
Woo. Sister
Minister Ava Muhammad.
Warrior. What a sister. What a warrior.
What a warrior. Let's move on. I want to get to the grand finale now, Dave. And maybe I can tag on a few of these other thoughts as we close. But I want to get to the grand finale now, because based on my brother's spirit, I know he's going to appreciate this. Now, last year, in our interview last year, you gave us all, well, at least me, a little known fact that you are a hoop fan, a b-ball fan. I didn't know that. And having known that, now having seen that, it wasn't a surprise when we look on your social media feed, your IG feed, and saw this particular quote you put up. So not a quote, a video clip rather, of the great Kobe Bryant. Watch this.
When you find that thing that you love, then life makes sense. You wake up in the morning and life makes sense. You have to figure out what it is that you really want to do. Like, wake up in the morning and say, yo, I'm excited to go do this. But when you find what it is that you love to do, then you wake up every morning with a sense of purpose. It's love. It's a pure love. It's not the fame. It's loving what we do, and we do it all the time. If you love what you do and it's making you happy, all the hard work and perseverance will pay off.
Yeah, that's the trick, isn't it? It's finding what you love to do. I wake up in the morning excited to get to it. And if you have that feeling, then you're truly doing what God has put you on this earth to do.
To me, it was only right to follow your last comment about love with that. When you were coming up, big brother, was there ever a period when you didn't quite know or have a specific route on what you wanted to do, that one thing you wanted to do? And what would you tell people today to help them along in their journey to find that one thing?
Yes, sir. Quickly. I thought that I was born to go to the NBA. And that's why one of my running jokes before our brother made his transition, I was speaking schools and said I was supposed to be in the NBA, but they picked Kobe over me. College out of high school.
I remembered you said that.
Yeah, but my life, my thought pattern changed when my brother Derek Muhammad played a tape of the minister for me in 9th grade on the way to the gym for me to practice to try to make the 9th grade team. Mm-hmm. And when I heard that lecture, I accepted the challenge. I had never heard nobody speak like that. And so what happened, I continued to listen to that tape even before every basketball game. So me feeding on the right word was actually making me ultimately not towards me finding my purpose, but my purpose finding me. See, sometimes, Brother Bond, we spend our time so much trying to find the purpose, not knowing if you just, as the minister say, strive to be a righteous Muslim.
Listen.
Strive to be a good person. Strive to be a good Christian. Strive to treat people like you want to be treated. Do right. Practice good. Then you'll find that God will call you to your purpose.
Yes, sir.
Due to Allah. So that's what really happened to me, feeding on that word. And it got to the point that, yes, I was known for basketball in high school, but they was calling me the campus preacher. Because I had found the teachings on Elijah Muhammad, and my brother, he didn't force it on me. He gave me the books, and every time I read Message to the Black Man, I'm teaching lectures in English class, chemistry class. I'm sharing the word on the basketball bus because I had got a word that was pulling me. See, that's what Jesus does. What you doing, Brother Qiyam? I was just at that time. I'm fishing. Okay, that's good. You want to play basketball? Well, I got another team I want you to play for. I want you to score for Muhammad.
Listen.
And that's why it's important, brothers and sisters. Don't stress yourself all the time thinking about, I got to find my purpose. I got to find my purpose. When people call me, I said, wait a minute. Are you striving to just submit to God on a daily basis?
Listen.
He'll guide you to your purpose. He'll lead you. But you got, as the scripture said, you got to let him order your steps and not lean on your understanding. So I got called to this. So I always say in the schools lastly as I'm closing, I studied Kobe because, again, our commander-in-chief gave us an order. He said that God wanted us to study Kobe.
He did.
Now, those that's close to me know that loss of Kobe hit me hard. We was the same age, had a daughter the same year. I never met him in my life. And I'm saying this publicly, brother. That Friday before the Sunday, the announcement of his loss, I had just called the Mamba Academy in California to set up a visit, brother. Lost my witness.
Wow.
And I asked the lady that Friday, I said, do you think Kobe Bryant might be there? She said, possible. I was planning to actually go after Sadie's Day to tour the facility, not just really to meet Kobe, but to meet his thinking and his mind, his ideas. So the minister said, God wanted us to study Kobe. So by the grace of Allah, to this very day, that's what I've been doing. I'm studying him. I bought all his books that he wrote. I bought the Mamba Mentality. Because why? The minister also connected his loss and the will that was present to the Messiah.
Yes.
So in getting closer to understanding Kobe is helping us to get a better understanding of the Messiah.
Are y'all listening?
Brothers and sisters, this is why we as students can't gloss over every time the Messiah speaks. Because every time he speaks, God is feeding something in us. So we feed more on him. God will lead us into our calling to be the right helper for him. So that Kobe is dear to me. And I thank Allah for calling me to the Muhammad team. What a blessing to be striving.
Right.
By the God and his servant. That I don't want to shoot my own shots. I want to shoot the shot that he tells me to shoot.
Come on. Yes, sir.
And then we take the weapon of truth in our hands and cross the enemy, dump the enemy, defeat the enemy. And that's why the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said in Message of the Black Man, he said, a champion without an opponent cannot be recognized as a champion.
Listen.
Kobe was a champion. Minister Farrakhan is a champion.
A champ.
In the nation of Islam, you a champion. We should welcome the opponent. So that Mamba mentality ain't nothing to play with. The Farrakhan mentality ain't nothing to play with. The mentality ain't nothing to play with. The mentality of Master Father Muhammad is nothing to play with. So I thank Allah for striving to put my hands in God's hands, that he called me to my purpose. So I encourage you, viewers, don't stress yourself every day. Just strive to be a good person, a righteous person, and trust in your God. And he gonna call your jersey number. So I encourage us all, keep studying the playbook, keep practicing, keep striving, keep focused. Don't get distracted, don't get swayed. You never know when the master gonna have need of you.
Listen.
Don't get complacent. Don't get comfortable. Don't compromise by Satan offering you anything. Don't get impatient with Allah's promises, man. He never breaks his promise. He's gonna use us for a great purpose. And that's why. Y'all remember Brother Ben? I'm preaching to coach. When the minister said to Brother Ben asked the minister a question at the September 17, 2020 meeting. And the minister said, oh, brother, these positions you all in, this is nothing. He said, you all will be over territories.
Listen, I remember that.
Ooh, that burned in my conscience. So what we doing right now, we just getting ready for the next call. So may Allah bless us to let the God use us. He has need of us, but we can't do it by ourselves.
Come on now.
Minister Jamil, the minister told us years ago in our opening prayer when we say, surely I have turned myself to thee. The minister said, He said, you supposed to say, surely I am being turned. We can turn ourselves.
Right.
All praise is due to our. Let the God turn you to your purpose. Don't get all hyped up by everything you see on social media. Don't waste yourself time consuming all of that. Just keep feeding on the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Keep your eyes on the minister, and your purpose gonna find you. How do I know? Joe, I'm a witness.
Come on. Do you remember what you said this year? Said last year around this time? You said the doors of the Rockwell Radio Church.
If you are without a radio home,
the doors are open. Oh, we are now overtime by at least 3 minutes. Let's move to close. Oh my goodness. You are tuned in to the Rockwell Radio Show, and this is the first show of the year, and I could not be more happy more excited and more moved. And I hope that you are excited and inspired with what we have to look forward to for 2023. My guest is our dear brother, Abdul Qiyam Muhammad. Let's move to rap. And now you said you got a few more minutes for us, right? Just a few more minutes.
Well, look, today is my eat day, and I already ate dinner, so I'm good. You know, I eat every other day. You caught me in a great spirit too. I already ate, so I'm good.
Then let's do this. I had to skip a few questions, so I kind of had to maneuver through my notes a little bit. So I want to ask this question. I want to know, looking back at the previous year, Brother Qiyam, what in terms of social media have you seen that you'd like to see more of? And name a few things that we could probably do with a little bit less as going to 2023.
You know, I have to say, the young believers of the Nation of Islam, you all are showing out.
Come on.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, how do you all? In your strong defense, your striving representation of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you're spreading the truth. And even those, you know, I'm saying this publicly, this is exclusive. There was a big wave of those after the Swan song who had their YouTube channels taken down on the same day, on 1st, 2021, 2022. At the same time, same day, a bunch of them, including Brother Ben, Brother Amon in Durham, North Carolina. You know, it was sister go by the name of Empress on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them, Sister Shanita, I believe, a lot of them, Brother Aiden. Well, I reported that to the minister to let him know what was going on in the digital trenches. Your teacher, our teacher, he dictated to me a personal, private message of encouragement to send to each one of them, brother.
Wow.
The beauty of them all, praise be to Allah, is they were all in the spirit of praise be to Allah. They were excited to keep going already. And the minister was so encouraged by their spirit and attitude, he sent them a letter, brother, that I emailed to every single one of them. And you know he asked me if I sent it to him, right?
Follow up.
All that to say is the young believers doing so wonderful. And I got to give a special shout out to the sisters. They're reflecting Farrakhan Challenge under the direction of student captain, Sister Naima Muhammad.
Legendary.
And others of that staff. Oh, they set off a fire and set a standard. And every time we've done anything as a nation, the way we spread it around the world, we invite people to see us in a beautiful light.
Yes.
And that's part of continuing to free the minister from the prison without wall. Now, you remember, the minister said that social media and the Twitter army freed him from that prison without wall.
Right.
So you got to remember, brothers and sisters, the enemy, they know that, so they want to make the people think that the minister is dead and off the scene.
Listen.
So this is why it's so good in your selfies. We ain't denying that. But that's why it's important for you as a helper to share his latest messages so your people that follow you will know that the minister is still alive and kicking.
Right.
And kicking and staying behind, right? It's important because people want to know where's the minister. That's why the other day when Brother Nuri posted that picture, right? And you know the minister, the spirit is in good health. Look at all the comments. Because people getting ready for Savior's Day. So continue to put up the clean glass, brothers and sisters. Continue to raise up the teachings. And last, say this. Go back and study what the minister said on November the 10th. He gave us direct orders. He said for us to stop nibbling at each other.
Listen.
Come on, believers, Nation of Islam followers. We should not be going at one another's throats over YouTube videos, over Netflix movies, over current events, over hip-hop songs. Dear believers, don't you know that you're hindering sacred Mars, who is a man, when you arguing back and on your Facebook page, the people are confused. No, let's follow orders. Stop going back and forth with each other. We got too much work to do. What's the best thing we could do? Before you type that response to a believer and tweeting them and taking shots at them, post something from the minister to calm yourself down.
Come on.
The instructions, November the 10th. This is why it's important. I don't know where this number came from, Brother Bond. Maybe you nation, but my brother and them used to say this to me too when I came in. When the minister speaks, you have to listen to it at least 16 times before you really get it.
Wow.
I don't know what that number meant, but in Houston, they told me that. But I understood the point was, after you hear it one time, don't think you got it. You got to keep going over it again, over it again, over it again. So go back to the November 10th message. That instruction wasn't just for Shaq, Barkley, Stephen A. Smith. He gave direct orders to the nation on how to conduct ourselves in social media. So it's so much good happening on the nation, on social media by the nation. I applaud you. I thank you on behalf of the minister. Let's keep going. And what better way we can use our social media right now as we close?
What a great segue.
Everybody should be posting the Savior's Day flyer on their page.
Everybody.
Nobody's page should not be too good for us to see this flyer. Now, I ain't talking about just sharing in your IG story, which just lasts 24 hours. I'm talking about putting it on your feed, inviting people to get tickets to go to Chicago, right? And if you may have seen recently, testimony, I shared Brother Ishmael's clip from previous Sunday on my IG. And one of my former students from my days as a high school teacher, that's another story, she DM'd me to ask me about it. Next thing I know, I woke up to her, she and booked her ticket and everything from me advertising it.
Come on,
She's going to Savior's Day to be with the minister.
Listen.
So you never know who's following you, who's waiting for you to invite them. So don't waste your posts.
Let me interject on that point. And this will be my last question of the evening as we close. On that note of Savior's Day, can you please share with everybody watching and listening why every Black man, woman, and child should be making their way to Chicago for Savior's Day 2023?
Brothers and sisters, just from the title alone should let you know what time it is. Now, we've been talking about warfare, from the digital landscape aspect. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been divinely given a title. The War of Armageddon has begun. Now, I don't know about you all, but when he said has, some had already started moving by the time he was fed to type. So that means that if we have been paying attention since the Swan song, and I reshared some of them clips on my IG, what he said about Armageddon, and we have been watching since the Swan song and seeing what has been unfolding and developing and manifesting from a scriptural standpoint, then we can tell that the God is stirring up something in all the inhabitants of the planet to turn their eyes and their ears for the answer.
Listen.
The answers of what is going on and what is to come. So we say, hearken unto the voice of God. Find a seat, find a laptop. If you can get to Chicago, get your tickets at the Win Trust Arena, because why? In the words of our beloved sister Ava, trust and believe. If you be there with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you're going to be there with God's winner. And whatever he gives, we know is what we need to hear for our personal lives. So if you can't make it, do like we was telling the people in the Southeast today. Me and Brother Linton was out there today, brother, because everybody ain't gonna make it to Chicago. So we printed out 5,000 flyers to do some troop trafficking today, to invite people to log online to watch the minister. And I'm telling you, brother, the people are so to hear from him. And they said, brother, I can't wait. One brother, he was in his company car. He took the paper and the flyer. He said, brother, I'm going to be front and center, man, even on my book. Watch this. So they wanted. So May Allah bless us to take heed to this call. And scripturally, we know what time we in, and everything is lining up for the world to pay attention to God's man. So I don't know about you, brothers and sisters, but there's nothing else for me to really post these days. I want to go and pull as many clips, whatever I can, to promote, to push, to drive people to the Wintrust Arena, to drive people to their cell phones and their laptops. Because whenever God gives the minister a message, we know it's right on time and it's what we need to hear. So if you got answers, you got questions on your mind, just hold them. And tune in February the 26th at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we got a guarantee, Brother Vaughn, on the Rockwell Radio Show that God will not leave you hanging. You will
Come on now.
The answer to your questions on that day.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Allahu Akbar.
You have been sitting on the Rockwell Radio Show with Abdul Qiyam Muhammad, Command-in-Chief, the man behind Volume 1 and Volume 2 of the Teachings 2.0 booklet. On that note, before we get out of here, Dave, can we have 5 more minutes, Dave? Can we get 5 more minutes, Dave? Can we get 5 more minutes, Brother Qiyam?
I'm good. Yes, sir.
Okay, the producer has given me the thumbs up for 5 more minutes.
Thank you to the audience, too.
And thank you all of us for hanging with us because we're now 15 minutes over. Now, my brother told me, he said we can give away a few copies, fresh, brand new copies with no dog ears, no taste, and no writing in it. Fresh off the press copies of the Teachings 2.0 Volumes 1 and 2. Here's what we're going to do. We want to give away to the first 3 callers before we get out of here brand new copies of the Teachings 2.0 Volumes 1 and 2. All you got to do is call 404-919-7399. The first 3 callers, you get a fresh pair of copies sent to your address, courtesy of our brother Abdul Qiyam Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
We want to see if the phone rings in the next 5 minutes. The phone line will be open for 5 minutes. Whoever calls in the first 5 minutes, and the phone is ringing right now, let's see who's on the line. You're on the line with DJ Rockwell. Who's speaking? Hello? Oh, wrong line. Here we go. Who's speaking?
Brother Derek for real.
Brother Derek for real in the building.
Man.
Salam alaikum, King.
Free soldier.
Alaikum salam, brother. Y'all just lit my fire, man. It was a little low. Y'all just set it back on fire.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I mean? I'm going to give my book to somebody else. I'm going to order 10 more, bro.
Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Big Dave, write down Brother Derek for real, and we'll get your information to get these books sent to my brother right away. Love you, miss you, my brother.
Man, love you.
All right, that's caller number 1. Let's go to caller number 2. Caller number 2, you're live on the air with DJ Rockwell. Who's speaking?
Man, it's Apocalypse, man. My book, man.
My brother, the bass man himself, Apocalypse, he's getting some copies sent to him of Volume 1 and Volume 2 of the Teachings 2.0. How you doing, black man? Come on, brother. Love you now. And brother, thank you for always supporting the Rockwell Radio Show, my brother. All right, we got time. Can we get one more caller in? Can we get another caller in? We're sending out fresh copies of Volumes 1 and 2 of the Teachings 2.0, courtesy of Brother Abdul Qiyam Muhammad. We're looking for one more caller, and you got 1 minute to get in. Here it is. Who's going to get this last copy? This is DJ Rockwell. You're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
It's Brother Ghazi.
Who is speaking?
Brother Ghazi Muhammad.
Brother, the great farmer, Brother Ghazi Muhammad.
Brother Ghazi.
How you doing, big bro?
Man, I've been enjoying Brother Qiyam message, man. I just want to tell you, brother, I love y'all, man.
Man, love you too, bro.
Brother, we love you and thank you for watching and supporting the Rockwell Radio Show. We will have some copies fresh for you, courtesy of our brother Abdul Qiyam Muhammad Black Man. Thank you for watching.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
Salam alaikum.
Happy Savior.
Happy Savior Day to you. We thank everybody for tuning in. What a show. What a show. What a show. Brother, before we go, we'll give you the last closing thoughts. Anything you want to share with the believers, the watching public, anything you want to say?
I just want to first say, dear brother, I thank you, Dave, and all the team, and just for the blessed opportunity to get on this witness stand, dear brother. And I pray Allah continue to strengthen you, your wife, and your entire family, beloved. And I just pray that Allah's peace will continue to be with you and us all in this new year, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has stated. And last, I just want to thank our beloved teacher. You know, the church say, you know, the grace of God. And I really thank him for the opportunity, the blessing of allowing me to strive to serve, brother. I'm striving just like everybody else. And I do never strive. I strive never to take it for granted. And I'm just thankful and grateful to him. I thank Allah for his number one and best helper, Mother Khadijah, for her sacrifice, love, and example and dedication. And thank you to the entire Farrakhan family and the Muhammad family, two suffering families who laid the foundation
yes,
that we stand upon. And thank you to all our pioneers, all of the believers, all the soldiers. Thank you all for all that you're striving to do and have done and will do.
Come on.
Cause of Islam, brothers and sisters. And I'll just say the last thing the minister said to me in one of our most recent phone calls. He said, well, brother, I'm about to get to my work and I know you're about to get to yours. So let's get that work in.
Come on, brother. We love you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And may God continue to bless your hands to keep doing this mighty work for God on behalf of his Messiah. This is DJ Rockwell. That is Abdul Qiyam. And again, next week, right here on the Rockwell Radio Show, don't miss it. Our guest will be none other than student minister Nuri Muhammad. And we hope that you are in the place with us next week as well. So again, this is our first show back. We hope you enjoyed it. Share the show, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Other than that, as we say every time, we are out of here. Now, if you got past all of that, you might as well keep on rocking with us. So come on, everybody, let's go. Radio show, y'all. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show, y'all. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show, y'all. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show, y'all. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show. That means you too, Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show. Subscribe now. Rockwell Radio Show, y'all. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show. Come on now, y'all. Yeah. It was a dope episode, man. Come on, man. Top tripping.